Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. One of the best magicians in the world here for us tonight. This is very special.
Get off the stage. Get off the stage.
Get off the stage.
That's where you belong.
Tricks of fate.
Tricks of fate.
Please welcome to the stage, Apollo.
Thank you.
Love you, Apollo. You're amazing. You're awesome. Welcome to London.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you trust your imagination? Because if so, anything is possible. I'm now going to attempt something even bigger than before. In my hand, I have 5 cards. And what I need each and every one of you to do is memorise the back of the card and also memorise what's on the front. And that would be the number and the suit.
That's him, the critic.
Oh, the cards are blank and the colour's wrong. The cards I wanted you to see was a royal flush of diamonds and for the backs of the cards to be red. I'm now going to try and fix this. Watch closely. And as you can see, I now have the royal flush of diamonds and the backs of the cards are now red.
That critic's looking at you with staring. He's not impressed.
The critic hates you.
For my next act, I'm going to need a volunteer. You, madam, second row. Can we have a round of applause, please? Madam, can you please confirm that this is a standard deck of cards?
Okay.
Yeah? Thank you. I'm now going to take this one step further. Watch closely.
Sorry, trick you can. He's not as good as the others, though, is he?
Where's the better?
It's a fake deck. It's just like it. Just like he is. Liar. 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 Liar.
Apollo.
Fake.
Apollo. Are you with me? Take all the time you need, Apollo. What are you thinking about?
I can't do this anymore. Every time I try and do one of my tricks, it's like these voices in my head are taking control of me.
I think it's best if we work backwards to have a better understanding of the whole picture. Let's think of a time before the voices. Tell me, why did you want to become a magician?
Ever since I was a kid, it was always my dream to become a magician. The sense of leaving someone in disbelief and making them think the impossible's possible just always excited me. And there are people out there who genuinely believe in magic because of what people like us do.
Who does he think he is?
You're useless.
Just give it up, mate. Who do you think you really can't do it?
Every night I step up on that stage and it's like I'm a different performer to who I used to be. I'm losing track of who I am.
And would you say this is impacting your life?
When I step onto that stage, all I hear are these voices in my head just clinging to me, playing on a goddamn loop, saying you're not good enough. These magicians' tricks are better. You're a fraud. Do you understand that every time I go to perform, all I can think about is the scrutiny I'll get if I'm not good enough? And I don't even know. But every time I look out into the audience, all I see is this abyss of darkness. Why be the best when you could be better?
How long have you been hearing the voices?
2 months ago. When I was performing on stage with my father. That's when it all changed.
Remember last week, I asked you to bring something that was significant to you. So tell me, what is the significance with this deck?
The Ace of Hearts symbolises a new beginning. The Nine of Spades symbolises a loss. Or death. The Ace of Hearts.
Cameras are live in 10 seconds, everyone. Going live to you now in the studio, Ace. 3, 2, 1, and stand by.
Welcome back to the Late Night Show. I am your host, Ace Hearts. Please welcome our first guest of the evening, the world-famous Apollo.
Thanks for having me.
Apollo, thanks for coming to the show.
It's a pleasure.
Been a long time coming.
It really has.
So, Apollo, you are half of the world-famous magician duo, Pick a Card.
Mm-hmm.
You perform for thousands of fans across hundreds of venues across the world. You feeling a bit starstruck, mate?
It feels pretty amazing.
I can imagine. And where's the other half of the duo tonight?
He's busy. I trapped him in the Bermuda Triangle.
Hey, is that an indicator of something to come in the near future? A solo routine, perhaps?
No, definitely not. My father's my inspiration, and people love us, and they love our duo, and I don't think I'll be able to do half the tricks without him.
So how did your luck change then?
Do you believe in the perfect magic trick? There's this notion, I believe, that when a trick becomes the ultimate spectacle, the audience will... That's where their belief in magic comes alive.
You see, now that I'm on my own, no matter how fast or slow I go, people just focus on the smallest, tiniest things.
Because no matter how hard I try, it's never enough. People come and go in this business. They talk. Pass it over time. But you think you're good enough? Let's be honest. So that's what's been going on. And this is where I'm heading.
I never meant to leave you. I loved performing with you. Every night. But magic is a young man's game. It's never going to be around forever. People have different abilities in magic. But it's how you use it that makes the difference. The way you perform is seamless. I'm proud of you.
When I perform, there's this legacy to uphold. Your legacy. No, the voices in my head are torturous. Do you really want to know why I hear them? Because I know I've failed you.
Magic exists every day, everywhere, and in everyone. The people who say it's nonsense, well, they just haven't found it yet. I found it. The day you set about to become like me. I remember coming home from work and finding you, practicing with this deck of cards right here. People like us are the magic. You are magic. You are the one who makes people find and believe in the spectacle.
Performing on that stage is never going to be the same without you.
How can I be dead when I'm right here? My legacy in your hands. I love you so much.
I love you too, Dad.
Time's up.
What you're now about to witness is a legacy of a great man. Madam, pick a card.
So, how did it go?
It went really well. The audience seemed to love me and they loved my tricks.
I think I might actually be able to do this.
Got to feel in heaven when my lover's near. Lord, let this moment last for another year. Though today has ended, the night's still young, I'd say. Lover, don't go away. Let it be the thing that I am longing for. Let's fly out from Manhattan to the California shore, just to watch the ships at night on the San Francisco Bay. Oh, lover, please, please stay. Don't say you have to go. Don't say you need to run. I'll stop the clock on Central Station and we can have a drink downtown. Let it be the night that I am longing for. Let's fly down south to Austin or to Ecuador, just to drink pina colada on a hot, wet summer's day. Oh, lover, please, please stay. Yeah! Please stay.
So, welcome to an episode that has been a long time coming, to say the least, the Pick a Card reunion special. I'm delighted to be joined by the man himself, Apollo, Oli Cowlishaw. I've got editor Sam Taylor, got our gaffer Jadyn Smith, and our director Shyam Jilka. And I'm your host, Matthew Alakun, the producer of Pick a Card, the apparent brains behind this production. So, firstly, it's been a long time coming, so great to see you all. How is everyone doing?
Good. Yeah, very well.
Very good.
All good, thank you.
All good. I thought it was about time we did this, really. It's one of those ideas that I've sort of wanted to do since I started the Matt the Critic show. So, I mean, can you believe it's been 2 years since we wrapped filming?
No,
No.
it's
Has
wild.
it been 2 years?
It has.
It's been 2 years.
When did we finish?
Probably
Is it-
like 2 years
Yeah.
to go to the day we were sat
I was gonna
in
say,
that
yeah,
Da Vinci
probably,
Suite
probably
editing.
Yeah.
there.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah,
Wow.
probably this time 2 years ago we were sat in the editing suite.
Like, kind of starting to wrap up an edit, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think today we would have been stuck in the windowless Da Vinci Suite. I mean, good times
I think we
indeed.
would, you know? I think we would. Like,
You
genuinely,
know,
I think
honestly, I do miss it though. That was a really
Yeah.
fun place to be in sometimes.
I do.
Yeah,
I
a lot
do.
of funny stories came out of that.
Wow.
It was like
Especially-
exhausting,
Yeah,
but it was so
especially with-
fun.
sorry, especially with Matthew as well.
I'll
With
get on to that.
everything you went through.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything I went through, yeah, I'll get on to that. But to be fair, like Jane said, I don't think I would have had it any other way in terms of, I do miss it, oddly. It's thinking about the fact that it's 2 years, it's a lot to take in somewhat. So I think firstly we'll come on to sort of a life update really, because it's been a while since I've done the last episode. Has anything interesting been going on in people's lives they want to share?
Well, I've had a big change. So obviously, I've been doing my acting, and I moved to Bristol about a year ago, and then started working at Aldi in retail and doing acting bits and bobs. And now I'm actually a lighting technician in TV and film. Yeah. So I took the switch because I was doing some quite a bit of AD work and standing in, being standing AD. And I was like, ADing's fun, but I'm looking at the sparks and the grips, and I'm like, actually, I quite enjoy what the sparks do, setting up all the lights and stuff. And when I'm standing in, obviously, I just sit there where the actor sits, and I just see the gaffer working with the DOP, and then all these lights come in and stuff. So yeah, I've done my level 2, and I did a 9-week shoot on an Amazon series in London, and yeah, I'm now a lighting technician, which is really cool.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
That's well done.
Cool.
I think we should have. I think we should have saved Oli for last. 'Cause
Yeah, no pressure on.
I can't top that.
Are you passing then?
I can go next if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I've been working as a teaching assistant for a couple of months, and now I'll be working on a feature film as the assistant camera operator,
nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's quite
which starts on Friday, this Friday,
Okay.
which I'm
Go on,
Wow.
Sean.
looking excited. I'm excited for.
Now, before you say anything else, are you sure you're not under NDA or anything? I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't
Make sure.
signed anything yet,
Okay.
but I feel like I might be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's as much as you should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're working on something.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm working.
That's amazing.
Yeah, at least
That's good.
keeping active in the film industry.
Oh, Jay, do you want to go next, mate? Because you obviously called us from Barbados, so.
Yeah. So I currently am still in Barbados, which is my home country. I've just been doing some work for I'm doing basically videography stuff. So I film different commercials, different infomercials, kind of stuff for different companies in the island, and that they can then put it out either on TV or your social media. I do a couple of saying live broadcasting for them if they want to do some stream as well. Yeah, it's a lot of it is kind of boring work because there's nothing really narratively creative about it. It's just like, you're filming a person talking, or maybe some scenario is related to what that company does for its business, but it's nothing really exciting. I'm still kind of chasing the dragon of what we did with Pick a Card. So I'm still hoping for something like that again.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After uni, I feel like it's a different world because it's like
Yeah.
you have all that like time to just do creative narrative stuff, and then like you go into the real world and you've got like the film industry, but then everything else, which is like way bigger, is just business.
Yep.
It's all corporate, and it's like it's so frustrating at times because I get it too, where it's like you just want to do something where you like creatively tell like a story of some kind, but like you can't because you just need to like have product USPs covered.
Yep.
Or like, you've got to sit down and do an interview with someone, and then it's just B-roll and stuff. So yeah, like it's different. It's different.
You've been doing stuff like that too, right? Like you've been filming for different companies and stuff from
Yeah,
what I
so,
saw
I
on your
mean,
Instagram.
Yeah, so I work in-house, like full-time. So yeah, I got that like, well, it overlapped with like uni. I'd kind of got the job back end of when we were like finishing up with like the dissertations and everything. So then moved down to London, and well, now just outside of London because London is just so expensive. Yeah, like commuter town. Well, Milton Keynes, I'm in. So like nice, like there's a lot going on. It's like easy to get into London, so can't argue with that. Yeah, so I'm working as a like videographer, editor, like colorist and everything for a sportswear company in London. So yeah, that keeps me busy all the time. So I'm there like 9 to 5. So doing a lot of things, like we're on set quite a bit, and then when we're not on set, it's a lot of editing, like coming up with concepts, planning, that kind of everything, bit of pre-production, and then a lot of post-production. So yeah, like color grading all the footage, seeing it through from like literally like from planning it all the way through pretty much. So yeah, it's a lot, but like it's good. And then yeah, just doing all the freelance bits on the side, like with the motion design stuff, and yeah, just trying to build up the freelance stuff to eventually make the switch, kind of.
Yeah.
Whenever that may be.
I feel that. I've currently just made that switch, and
yeah,
it's sketchy.
It's sketchy. There's like the thing is that like
yeah.
What I've learned is I was always like, right, yeah, 6 months I'll be ready to go, and then I'm like, it gets to 6 months, and then I realize like there's actually no right time to go. You kind of just kind of like. There's never going to be a time where you've got enough freelance work to like maintain just doing that solo.
Yeah.
But then you can't you can't build it up until it's a safe point to make the jump. Like you kind of have a little bit, and you've kind of got your like foot in the door a little bit, and then you just kind of go.
Yeah. That's me.
Like,
that's
no
my
right
position.
time. Yeah. But like you've taken the jump, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's good, and like as long as I make enough to like pay the bills, then I'm alright. I don't mind just
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I've had to sacrifice quite a bit of time to actually like get to the point where I'm at with the lighting and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into the acting and try and make some money that way as well. So
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it is good. I've been working at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre for the past 3 days, setting up for their new show. And that's like a whole new world compared to being on set. So that's been really good fun. We put up probably 200 lights, and they're like big arena ones or TWXs, and yeah, on these big bars, TX bars. So it's been good fun.
Nice.
It was really interesting, actually.
Back to Mark.
Yeah, because I'll say this nice compliment to Oli first, because obviously I knew you were the stand-in for All of Us Strangers recently that came out this year. And I can positively say that I'm not going to tell you where it is at the moment, but it's in my top 5 of the year. So I'm very proud of you, mate.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Especially with Paul Mescal coming with Gladiator 2. It's quite cool to say that I had to grind up against him in a club for this film.
Wait, sorry, you did what?
Yes, basically, I was Andrew Scott stand-in, and Andrew Hay, the director. They needed this guy to like. It was almost like a visual point for the scene in this club scene. They didn't use it in the end, but that's not an issue. But they just needed this guy to sort of walk in so the camera could follow them and see like the main characters looking at him and like they're exchanging looks and stuff. So I did a couple like bits, and then there was one bit where I had to grind and like flirt and shimmy up Paul Mescal. I had to like whisper in his ear, run my fingers down his arms, and like just dance to him and everything. So that was very eventful. And I just had to say to him before, I was like, I feel like I should be getting close to you. You're comfortable with that, and like he was fairly in the zone for what he was had to do. So yeah, it was quite funny, and I went clubbing with them as well, so that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it
That's
took
very cool.
the station, just bought loads of like gin and tonic cans. You know, you can get like 3 for $5 or something. Then we hopped on the tube and went to this little bar. So
That's insane.
yeah, very
That's
lucky.
pretty cool.
It's fun.
Yeah. But so since the last podcast, this is the first one I've done post Salford, and I can now say I have got a distinction. So that is.
Get in, Matt. Get in.
Let's go.
Thank you, mate. That was a lot of late nights. I don't think I've broken the record for how late I went to bed some nights, but worth all the sleepless nights for sure. I mean, yeah. I'm doing my teaching qualification at Wolverhampton, and I'm on placement at James Watt College, and I've got my first observed lesson tomorrow, so no pressure for me.
You nervous?
Do you know what? It's interesting. I'd say yes, because it's something that's out of my control. I'm doing it on music videos, so it's an interesting one because I've never made a music video, and it proves that they trust me enough to teach that. So
A university or was it a college?
it's college. It's James Watt College, yeah, which is 10 minutes drive from my house, so I have a right blessing there.
Yeah, you've done well.
That's good.
Yeah, but now
I can't wait to see Matt the critic teaching a lesson.
Well,
he goes from Matt the critic to Matt the teacher.
Yeah, that's it.
What about the critical teacher?
I like that. That's
Critical
good, that's
teacher.
good.
Yeah, rate
It was interesting actually because the first lesson we had to do at Wolverhampton was sort of like a test run in front of the whole class, and I did spectatorship because I thought nothing more fitting to go with Matt the Critic. Basically, how we view films.
Nice.
Because obviously I've got a lot to say on a lot of films, but we'll get back to pick a card. So
Hold on, Matthew.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I am on 5% on my laptop. I'm gonna have to dip quickly,
Yeah.
come back in 2 minutes, get
Right.
my charger. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes.
I'm keeping it running because I'm
Alright.
keeping that bit in.
Yeah.
Okay,
temporarily
Matthew, I heard
lost
that. You can give it in if you want. I don't mind.
Keep it in, keep it in.
Keep it in. Or just watch Shyam just desperately running to the charger. But yeah, I'm doing written reviews now again. Something that I've sort of was missing over Salford because I was so busy writing my feature screenplay. My feature-length screenplay I have submitted to the BBC Writers' Room as well. So
Hey, nice. See what
Yeah.
happens with that. Can you give us a little sneak peek on what it's about?
yeah, it's a very heavy film actually. Don't know if you saw. Did you see Children in Need recently?
I actually didn't.
No, because
I didn't.
what really happened was that it was the first time like I saw a case of what had written about sort of publicised in the UK. So, and it was on sort of childhood dementia, which I don't know if any of you knew actually existed.
I did not. honestly.
No.
I didn't until you told me about it, yeah.
No, and it was really quite emotional watching it on Children in Need because obviously I distanced myself from something in the script now, but it was like, God, it's now finally being discovered. But it was essentially sort of a 3-year journey documenting a normal college student's life that basically gets turned upside down by this diagnosis, and we watch sort of their spiral and sort of how the family relationship breaks down on this one condition.
No, that sounds really good.
But yeah, it was quite a dark headspace thinking about it in the long term. But I think I ended it on probably what is the most hopeful note I could have done. So and I'm
Yeah.
really happy with the mark. I mean, I got a distinction for that, so
Well, let me know when auditions are on.
yeah,
And,
we'll do, mate.
Yeah, no, I
look
know.
for it, that'd be wicked.
We've got our crew, so
Yeah, literally.
we've got everyone we need.
It's interesting because
Would
one of the people I'd asked for feedback had read this, and obviously they'd watched Pick a Card, and they just said it was like the jump in terms of like writing was like on a totally different, like the
Really?
emotionality they've really felt it just reading it. So I was like, okay, I've got something.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, 100%. I remember you showing me the all your like pre-production documents and
What my portfolio that was the
portfolio.
length of a PhD. I'm not kidding when I say that.
How many words did you write?
Okay, so I think it was 33,000. And I'd like to point out, this doesn't include the words in the script because they were screenshots.
Wow.
Yeah. Does not mess about over it.
No. That sounds really good, Matt. I hope you hear something from the BBC.
Yeah, we will. Well, I'll be bragging on Instagram if there's any luck. And Shyam has just
He's gone
disappeared again, so
Yeah, he's gone again.
yeah. Apologies for Shyam.
Here he is.
I don't know what is going on.
Are you back now?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm back. I'm all good.
Right, should we let's get chatting about Pick a Card, why we're all here.
Yeah,
so
come on, let's dive into
let's
it.
do a big group question first. So, what for you is the fondest memory of Pick a Card? Just get
A
the
good
deep
question.
in processed thoughts.
I don't know. Can I
fondest
just?
memory?
I'll just start and just say that, like, I don't know. I think just having, I think like if we when we were on set, if you stepped out of it and kind of saw it from the bigger picture, and when you think that like we were doing that based off of like zero like prior experience of doing it, like no one had ever written. I mean, Matt, you'd written scripts before, but like no, we'd never done it on that scale. We'd never like we were just a group of 6 university students with like basically no budget who somehow managed to rake together like 1,500 quid. You know, like we found Oli, we found Ellis, like, and I think that whilst we were on set, if you just stepped out of it and you thought actually like we kind of did that, that's kind of like the whole thing is kind of like a fond memory in a way.
I mean, especially for me, because obviously I came from the outside and came into your guys' world that you created. Like, it was just ran so professionally, and like I've done work on like actual like professional shoots and like Amazon series and stuff like that, and it was just crazy. Everyone was just working together like such a well-oiled like machine, and I was blown away. And it was the first time I was actually on a short film, so it was the first for me as well. So I felt like it was all of us just trying to figure it out together, and the end result was just incredible for what
Next
everyone
level.
did. Yeah,
I agree though. I think
such a good
like
experience.
it ran like so smoothly. Like I've been on sets since that, and there's like huge hiccups and stuff. And the fact that like we did that with, I mean, like there wasn't time to like, I mean, we did the test shoots and stuff, but like we just rocked up on the day, and I mean, we prepped for it as much as we could, but no one knew how that was gonna go. Like we didn't have time to do reshoots, or we didn't have budget to like get Ellis down here for another day if the hard drive's corrupted or something, and like we didn't have a backup or whatever. But like it went so smoothly that it was almost like I look back at it, I'm like, it's kind of too good to be true that it went that smooth. For like a first attempt, like there is so many ways that it could have gone wrong, and like only one way that it could have gone right, and somehow, and like that's not just luck though. That's just like down to the fact that everybody was so invested in it that, and they were like so, like I don't know, passionate about the role that they did on that film. It kind of just it just gelled so well.
I think the good thing about it is that everybody knew what they were doing, and everybody stuck to their role. Nobody dabbled into anybody else's role. Like I didn't go off and started messing about with the cameras. I know Sam, you didn't start going off and messing about with the lights. Everybody stuck with their role and did what they had to do. And I think that's why one of the reasons it ran really smoothly.
Even even like the second years and stuff that we brought in, like the girls that did the set design and stuff, and they were like so on it.
They were really good.
And you're like, these girls came to us. Well, I mean, we put the call out, and they came to us to be like, yeah, we want to actually get involved with it. It wasn't like, oh, we need people. Can you do this? Like, we really need your help, kind of thing. Like, they were just straight on it, and like, you never had to ask for stuff to be done. They went away. I remember like we did like IKEA trips with them and stuff, and that was off of their own back because they were like, oh yeah, we need to go and get stuff to make your film like possible.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that IKEA trip. Ben, I remember it was me, you, Sahil, and then
I think it was like two of
girls.
them.
Yeah, and they were all stuck in the back of the car.
Yeah, but like, and that came off out of their own back. Like they weren't kind of like, oh, can you go off and get all this stuff for us? They
willingly
sacrificed their
came with
time
us.
to do it as well. Even the runners that we had though, they were just happy to be there.
Yeah, and it was really, I don't know. It was quite surreal to think that everybody really did their things in a good way.
And like people just backed it as well. Like I feel like, especially from other, like from, I mean, we knew that we had to do it, and we knew that we'd make it work. But like from the externals coming in, like obviously like with you, Ollie, and stuff, it was kind of like you guys backed it, and it was so. I feel like student production, just a third year, like final year project, like no budget, nothing too like special at face value, and like we'd seen like other examples of people's work that were in the same position as us, and looking at the quality that like those guys have produced, I feel like when you see that title of, oh, it's a student film, it's so easy to overlook it and just think, oh, I'm not going to bother with that. Like, why would I bother than that with that kind of stuff? But the fact that you and everyone else stuck with it and kind of just trusted the vision of the team is the reason like why we actually have it now. Because like, we could have just done it with the six of us, you know?
Yeah, it even comes down to what we were all saying was we were in pre-production. Anyone remember the quote?
I've got the quote written down for one of your questions.
Of course it
Have
is.
you got it written
Go on,
down?
refresh the memory because I can't remember.
We're making a movie or a student
Oh
film.
Yeah. I remember you saying that on set.
Yeah,
we're making a movie.
I remember I just constantly kept saying it every single day. And then everybody would start saying it as well. And it really felt like we were making a movie. I think it's also another thing is a mentality thing as well. If you think that you're making a student film, you're not going to put as much effort into it as well.
Exactly.
But if you think of it like you're making a movie, it's gonna turn out looking like a movie. It's gonna turn out feeling like it's a movie.
Yeah. But I think again, like that goes to the pre-production that you and Sahil did as well. Like the amount of references that you guys picked and like the shots that we replicated, you knew what movements were needed, you knew what movements weren't needed. Like I back the fact that I think the way it works so well is because there's not that much camera movement in it. Because I don't think it needed it. Like a lot of it was locked off on a tripod. And I remember like watching those other short films and that we were shown as examples, and this camera's like running around after these characters and it's messy and it's like there's no continuity and the cuts don't match, and like a lot of them were just chaotic. And I think ours it was just stripped back, and the story laid the foundation for it, and it didn't rely on like super crazy things to keep it interesting.
We just kept it as simple as we could, and just limited the amount of camera movement there was.
No, I'm gonna say for Sahil's part is that moving around with the RE was pretty much, that was like a heavy thing to do. So it was kind of better for him to just keep it on
to just lock it off. 100%.
It comes across though so well. Just like it just looks so natural. Do you know what I mean? And like I think when you're trying to start off and make a film, obviously you just have the temptation to be like, oh, we've got to do all these cool shots. We've got to do this run. We've got to track here. And we've got to look down.
Yeah.
There was none of that. And I think because the story was just, what I find quite rare with short films is trying to get a good story that has a start, middle, and end. Because you've only got like 15 minutes, which is what Pick a Card was. And you actually go on the journey with it. So yeah, I'm chuffed that I was a part of it. To be fair, I'd love to have done it all again now.
Yeah,
because like all the things I've learned since that point, I think it could be something really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Explain how Pick a Card started over the Weatherspoons conversation for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear the story.
Well, do you want me to elaborate?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, that was a while ago. That was like probably almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it was, like 2.5 years ago, probably.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere came out April, May time in 2022, something like that.
Then knowing you will have seen it like first day it came out, so
yeah,
like it will have been about that time. So Matt was like, do you want to come and see? Well, we'd seen the trailer for this film in some lectures, I think, and it looked pretty interesting, so we thought, yeah, we'll go see it. And we had a bit of a ritual where either before or after the Cineworld trip, there had to be a spoon strip involved. Jadyn's nodding his head because he's been there. Jadyn's
I've
done
been
it.
on that. I've
He's
done
ticked
it
that
multiple
box.
times.
Yeah. So there was always a Wetherspoons trip involved. And anyway, this was coming up to the end of second year. So now, like, you're starting to think, end of second year, you're basically prepping for third year. And yeah, we were thinking about...
This was
Yeah,
before
go for
we
it.
went into third year.
Yeah, this is like
Of
we
course
were
it
doing
is. That's
that.
a stupid question.
Yeah, we were doing like the post-production modules with Sandeep and everything at this point. And yeah, this is like long before it was really even thought about, like fleshing out a story. But yeah, Matt, we were just chatting away, and Matt's like, we're talking. I'm saying like, oh, what are we gonna do for like final year? We need to think about coming up with an idea. We knew that it was coming. We knew that it was going to be like a group project, like who we're going to work with, what's the storyline going to be, etc. This, that, and the other. And I can't remember what you really delved into, but I just know that you were like, you've got this. You explained this like opening shot of some magician like making some woman like levitating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Matt, we've got like no budget. How on earth are we going to do that? Like, we're not. But no, I didn't shut you down. I think I was like, we have to do that kind of thing. Maybe like dumb down the opening shot, but the story was really there. I was just like, there's no way that Michael's going to let us suspend some woman from a ceiling for like, for like a student film. We don't have any legal insurance, but yeah, I just remember you like talking to me about the like idea of this pick a card thing and being like, basically, I can't remember what you said that much, but it was enough to entice me into the idea of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I did say. And
I have no idea.
How much of it? Well, I know it definitely started from there. I mean, I think it was at the sort of time I was heavily quite into magic. It's probably like I was watching a lot of the Got Talent shows and sort of wanted to tell a story, a bit to do with mental health because I was quite passionate about it at the time. And I think I may have said this idea of a magician who spirals out of control, which obviously with Everything Everywhere, it's quite there's common threads between the both.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember if this was before or after we watched this film. If you were inspired by what we'd seen or what we were about to see, to like tell me about this idea that you'd had.
I mean, well, regardless of what was said, I know what meal we had, so
it was the same thing every time.
Yeah, the buttermilk chicken burger, Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We were on a student budget, weren't we?
Yeah, we are on a student budget. Oh, I do miss those days.
Were on a student
quite
budget.
a lot, actually.
No, I do miss those days. I remember like, going off on a tangent. I remember like when we were in uni, I was kind of like, I'm sick of watching PowerPoint slides. I'm ready to just get out there. And then now I look back at it, and every now and again, I'm just like, yeah, I would love to just go back and do that for like, if I could do it and know that like you were gonna come out and like you're gonna have work and stuff, and it'll be all right. Then, because I think when you were in it, I was like, yeah, I just need to like work to then be able to work afterwards.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, yeah, I just love to go back to that and just have the time to, well, still be in Birmingham, because I do miss Birmingham. I don't know about everyone else. Yeah, Shyam's agreeing.
Yeah,
Jadyn's like Barbados is way better.
Well, I feel back here now, so I can't really say.
Matt's still there. Nah, it's not that. It's just like, I don't know. There was a routine, and like we had so much time to just you could just book a studio out in that building, like for free. Like there is no other time ever where someone is going to be like, here's a £50 million studio.
Yeah.
Go and do what you want with it. You've got all day.
I'd kill that now. Honestly,
genuinely like
the facilities you had were just
they
unreal.
were crazy.
Which is why, like, you should never shy away if something says student short film, because, like,
that's true.
Like, they've got state of the art equipment, and you never know who the students are. And like, I felt like from my position, I really looked out because everyone smashed it and everyone really enjoyed their roles. And like Shyam was saying, it's just like everyone was so rooted in what they wanted to do, and they did that to the best of their ability. And then the end product like really shows that. Do you know what I mean?
So I've got a question on that actually, on the studio sets, because obviously we had our amazing set designers do we had the jazz club, we had the therapy room, the dressing room. The dressing room was unbelievable.
They went so over and beyond with the dressing room.
So I think question for Oli. Go on. This first. Because obviously, I remember rightly, we used Zoom for a lot of the rehearsals, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't think we had one in-person rehearsal. It was just over Zoom.
We had one. It was with Magic Bob.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Where we went.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't really a rehearsal, but you introduced me to the magician and that.
Yeah.
I've still got those cards. I did those tricks to get into National Youth Theatre. You know, that card trick.
Yeah.
You have to go in and do like an initial audition, and you basically do like these different workshops, and then you got to show like a special skill. So I was just there like, right.
Wow.
I know what I'm doing. Boom.
That meeting with Magic Bob was life changing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I've been the same man since.
So like, yeah, and that just the fact that you guys set that up. Do you know what I mean? Like that really goes to show like the dedication and commitment that was put in to make this.
Who found Magic Bob?
That was Laura.
Laura,
yeah. Laura,
yeah, I thought
I
so.
remember having a conversation with Laura and asking. Well, no, it was a conversation with everybody, and we were discussing about the magic tricks that we wanted to show. I remember Laura just out of nowhere goes, she mentions that she knows this magician that used to do magic tricks when she was younger. And so she was like, I can get in contact with him and he could teach us some magic tricks.
Brilliant.
So let's go for it. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
I've still got the videos as well.
I see them scroll back every now and again, and there they are.
Magic Bob with like the rope and stuff and like putting it through the neck and oh man, I've fooled my mates so many times. I had them so straight at once. You know when you like make the knot and then you pull the knot off? They were bugging out. Like, how on earth are you doing this? So
and that's the good thing is that Oli, you picked up all the tricks straight away.
Yeah, I was quite lucky. I mean, especially when I did that card disappearing one and then I got it back, I was like, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised by how quick you were with it.
Yeah, I was just so keen. I think that I was just so excited to like get going with it all and get like I still do a bit of magic now. To be fair, like trying to and stuff.
Apollo's really rubbed off.
Yeah,
it really has. It's such a cool thing to show people. Like, yeah, I just think it's quite a unique thing to do, but it's so easy.
We did it all in like those tricks, like the fact that they were in one take. Like we could have easily just gone really overboard and done some like crazy magic trick that was actually faked with like 500 cuts in the sequence. But like
that idea was floating around of doing like transitions.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
And I just remember thinking that doesn't work.
Because I remember being like, do we do like a sequence where you're like cutting between different tricks and you're showing this like show play out from a different perspective, but it really didn't need that.
Yeah.
No.
So go back to the question there.
Yeah, we've gone off
Yeah,
on
I
that
just
one.
need to grab my charger as well. I'll literally be a second. My laptop's just started flashing.
Right.
No.
Whose laptop's
Go for
next?
Well, I've got 54% left.
Okay, I think you're good.
I'm legitimately plugged in, so I'm good.
Yeah, I'm plugged in as well.
Jadyn's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So,
I think it's just me and Oli.
Yeah. But, so, I'll get Shyam in for this then. I'll get your question, and then we'll go back to Ollie's. So, obviously, we know you through a little motto, we're making a film. Did this stem from anywhere in particular, this saying, or is it just spontaneous? Out of interest?
I think it was just spontaneous. I think it was more of just watching what the other years had done. I was just thinking to myself that I don't want to make a film like this. That none of those films are good. None of the scripts are good. It's just, they're all bad.
Not afraid to say how. Not afraid to say.
I'm just being open and honest. It was all bad.
Yeah,
I just remember thinking, we need to make a movie. And then I just said it, and then, yeah.
It's a good
So
quote.
yeah, it just came out. I think there was a bit of frustration as well. I don't know why.
Okay, interesting.
We used to have those like weekly reviews, didn't we, when we were doing the like script writing, and Michael would just pick it apart like there was no tomorrow and basically be like, how are you going to do that? Why? Explain it all. That was probably where your frustration came. But like he did that for the best reason, and it all turned out to be all good. I remember sitting there and there was like certain things, even from like an editing perspective, where they were like, how are you going to do that? And I was like, just let me do it. Kind of thing. But like, yeah, just let me do my thing. But like in hindsight, when after you have a conversation with them, you think, oh yeah, actually, it's a good job they asked that, because it really opened up like a whole, like, I don't know, it opened up so much like thought into other things. But that's probably where your frustration came from, because I know that we used to do it. We'd be sat there, we'd be writing something for like 2 hours, and then they'd be like, that's not going to work.
And yeah, it did get a bit annoying at the end, but it was all worth it.
It is worth it. I think particularly with obviously the feature film I wrote, like it's odd that sort of what Michael's taught you, you sort of implement yourself without realizing until like after the fact. Because I have to say, my first draft, I sort of, well, I didn't tear it to shreds, but I was very critical, which kind of makes sense for me. Because I analysed it as a viewer, which probably helped my mark quite a lot. Because I said, if I'm watching this, is what I'm seeing making sense, and then I just saw it in a very different way. But that's that was an interesting one. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, what a legend.
Oh, he really dug in with us.
Yeah, our film dad.
As we call him, our film dad.
He was.
I'll get on to the question I had for Ollie now about the settings, because obviously we had the dressing room, therapy room, and the jazz club.
Yeah.
Because obviously we were rehearsing a lot on Zoom. Do you think actually seeing the locations in person impacted your performance in any way?
Yeah, 100%. And it was quite nice just not spending loads of time rehearsing in it, especially like the jazz club or something. Do you know what I mean? Because if he was actually going to do a show, he wouldn't have done much in that room. But I think another thing was, especially the TV show set, that blew me away. Because that was like, I think that was our first day. I think that was the first day of shoot. And I walked in, and I remember me and Lewis, we walked into the studio and we were like, okay. We really got us.
I think we all were.
Lewis was like, really, like, he was like, oh, gotta do good. And so was I. But yeah, I mean, everyone just went above and beyond, like we keep saying. But it made it very easy for me to do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, huge shout out to everyone. Like, the lighting, everything. It was just wicked.
It's a testament, I think. I do remember when I saw the dressing room, I think my jaw literally hit the floor. I was that baffled. I'll ask another question to you, because I'm curious, because obviously you worked very well with Ellis. I'm curious because obviously a big thing about Pick a Card is legacy. Sort of, what was the lasting impact Ellis left on you when working with him?
Huge impact. I mean, we still talk now. Like, we message all the time, and he keeps tabs on me, and I keep tabs on him, and like, he is a fantastic actor. And when I rewatched Pick a Card today, like, the way he speaks, and like when he goes, like, what's the line? It's like, magic needs to be seamless. I don't know, just the way he said it. I was just like, so slick, and he draws you in. Do you know what I mean? And like, when we were filming it, and I look back at it now, like, I've come a long way, and I've learned so much from that, and I learned so much from him in that, like, 2 days we were there. But yeah, he's big impact on me, and I know he's always looking out for me. It's nice to have someone who is living my dream, basically. Like, he is a full-time actor, and that is what I want to do. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of him. So thank you for letting me meet him and work with him.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I think Shyam can maybe comment on this because I remember when you guys first met at the jazz club, you sort of had to walk away, didn't you? Just because they were getting on really well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think I remember I came and introduced myself to Ellis. And then I remember walking away because I went to do something. And I turned back. And then I stood there for a second. I was like, should I go back and have a conversation with them again? But then I remember just thinking, nope, let these two mingle together. And let's see where this goes.
Yeah, and like, we're hoping and praying for the next time we get to be on screen together, when he's desperate to play my dad again, and I'm quite happy to play his son again. You know what I mean? Gotta keep the legacy going.
Feature film, cough, cough, pick a card, cough, cough.
Yeah, literally. Remake. Let's do it.
Script, cough, cough.
Yeah, come on, Matt.
Get writing.
I'm going to ask you about pick a card too at the end, actually. So, but we'll get. I know Shyam's fair eyebrows just raised as I said
Pick
that.
a card too.
Yeah, I've got a question on it.
Love you.
Okay. Okay.
We'll go through it. We'll go through it later. So, let's bring Jadyn into this, obviously, because you are Gaffer and you works really well with Sahil. I think the first question is, can you tell me why Sahil never stopped talking about Roger Deakins on set? Can you attest to that?
I mean, I'll be honest, right? Doing Pick a Card, it kind of like, I would say, like, we were always friends and stuff, right? All of us. But when we actually did it, you kind of understood the other person you were working with. You kind of got into their mind. And with Sahil, like, you understood his passion with lighting and stuff. You understand why he wants to make something basically look like a painting in real life, And for him, Roger Deakins was like his hero. He understood that kind of level of cinematography, and that's what he wanted to reach. And I'm gonna be honest, he was really good at replicating some of it for our film. So yeah.
I think
super talented at what he does. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, a lot of the references that we used for this film came from Joker. Him and Roger Deakins has been going on since we were in college. Like, I've known Sahil since college. And he's always going on about it. Since college. So for me, that's nothing new. I hear it. I would hear it every single day. He'll always be like, "Oh, Roger Deakins this." We'd be like, "Oh, watch this Roger Deakins podcast." I would be like, "I'm not interested in that. Let me watch these other directors."
Yeah, the amount of interviews that he must have watched.
I've seen his history. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Wow.
But he studies it and he mastered it. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, he's really obsessed with it, because I remember we were going to like a pub for someone's birthday, and I remember that Sahil just stops me. He's like, "Look at this lighting. This is lighting. Man. This is what you want to create." Like, you can
that
see,
was
like,
the first time.
That
was the first time that I'd ever seen. Well, that was like the starting point, I think, for me understanding that and what he meant.
Yeah,
and he just saw the real world, but as if it was a screenplay, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he saw the real world as if it was like orchestrated to look that way, and like whatever it was, if it was like some light that's been in a Weatherspoons for like 30 years, he. Oh, we've lost Ollie.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a common thread of using new podcast software is that you lose people quite fast.
Quite often.
Not because it's internet, it's probably because of me, so that's...
Well, let's see if he comes back.
Yeah, see if Ollie's had
Let's
enough
hope he
of it.
comes
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, hopefully he comes
I
back.
hope he comes back, yeah.
In
It's
the
a very
meantime,
pivotal piece of the...
Yeah, so because I didn't really answer the first question about fondest memory for me, so I'll probably talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
go for it, man.
Because obviously, I think I was just amazed by the amount of support we had, like right out from the gate.
Me too.
Because obviously we had a crowdfunder that raised £1,400, and we somehow still had money left, which was just
I don't know how.
I couldn't believe. Especially with how much we spent on getting Ellis down from Cambridge. The day of trying to sort that.
I remember you being in, I don't know if you were booking the tickets, but I remember you being in uni and we realised how much it was going to cost to get him down.
Yeah.
And it was going to be something insane, like a third of the budget or something was on a hotel and train tickets.
Oh yeah, I'd comment on the Ellis train thing actually, because I could give a shout out to the person now. My mom helped book the hotel for Ellis. She was my PA for the day.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, I'm not
know
kidding.
that.
I'm
That's
not
news to me as
embarrassed to
well.
admit that now because, yeah, I needed a bit of help and just to sort of manage finances and stuff, just to try and make sense of the money. But then it was like, I think thanks to Mom, really, she really proved we can get Ellis down. So,
Well, thank you to your mom.
Yep, thanks to
help
Mum.
save the film possibly. But
Round of applause
No,
for
I
your
think
mum.
it did.
Thank
I
you.
remember you had that huge spreadsheet that you were working on. Because I remember we used to go to there was like a Tuesday afternoon and we had some lecture and then we used to go and sit in the library for like an hour until the end of the day.
yeah,
And then I remember you had like some huge spreadsheet where you'd got like all these train tickets and potential train tickets that you could get and hotels and trying to figure out the cheapest way possible
yeah,
to get him down.
it's like
And
a
then
game of-
what was there was a problem though. There was something with like there's like no trains or something.
Yeah, the trains were on strike, right?
The
When
trains
we wanted LA.
went on strike, I think, as Ellis was going home, so we had to get him off immediately.
Wasn't it like you had to get a ticket and it was like he changed twice or
Yeah,
something?
but he did
Or am
it.
I just
Yeah,
He did it. That's what
He
I mean.
made it.
Like that's the commitment. And we were just a bunch of we were just students. And this man believed in this film enough to be like, because he could have been like, put it this way, one of my friends who was doing the film course, not the film production one. I can't remember what the name of the other one was. He was in like the year above, and he had actors that were local who just genuinely, for no reason, would message on the morning of a shoot and be like, "I'm not doing it today. Sorry, something's come up. Like I can't do it." And the fact that Ellis could have easily been like, "There's train strikes. Yeah, I'm not doing 3 trains for you. I'm really sorry." But the fact that he did it still kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, it really goes to
Like-
show his commitment
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think we
Dedication.
could ever take that for granted.
I mean, there's so many things you can really just shout out about this whole experience. I think it's sort of hard to put in a nutshell, because I could say pick a card and I could think of a lot of things come to mind instantly. I mean, I think I gave my first speech on the last day. Shyam threw me on the
Improvised
spot.
speech as well,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, improvise. I'm the king of improvising. Apparently.
Yeah, I remember that speech. I remember we were talking about it, and I go, Matthew, if you do a speech, I will do a speech.
And then Shyam just said,
Yeah.
Shyam said, put the camera away when I finish speaking.
I just go, yeah, let's pack up now.
Let's pack up. And then we went for drinks after, and I think that was a good fond memory for me as well, because we'd worked so hard, and I don't think we'd really spent that. I mean, we had COVID, didn't we, when we first started? So it took ages, I think, for people to really get to know each other.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that entire first year, you had to social distance from everyone. You couldn't go out with everyone. So I remember the first time that I met all you guys was, I didn't know what anyone looked like again because we had masks on. We didn't socialize with each other because you couldn't.
No.
And then it was only like towards like end of second year that everyone started to get to kind of know each other because of that whole like delay in actually meeting each other in person properly. And then when we got into third year, because it was so like go, 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 we were always together, but no one was really just like socializing out of uni. So I think it was nice to like put that such a shift in, and it was so deserved like after it to just have that whole crew there and just go out, have food, like have a few drinks.
Yeah.
And
And
like
then
it's something, it sounds so like small and something that's so easy to do, but I just think because we never did it, and then it was like straight after we did that, we were straight into an editing suite for like 6 weeks again.
yeah. I remember
Like,
even on that straight after the shoot as well. There was what, like 16, 17 of us?
yeah, and it was
Yeah, we were
brilliant.
all
And I
trying to get to
remember
one
we got to I think one of the Weatherspoons.
Yeah,
We had to
the square
combine
peg.
like 5 tables
like
together.
5 tables together.
Yeah.
We were like,
It
let's
was
pull that
great.
pull
It
that
was
on.
so good. It was so good. Like, it was just that satisfaction because it was like you could genuinely, like, without being like really cringe, you could genuinely like celebrate what you just done.
Mm.
Because it was like no one was like, oh yeah, we're shooting today, let's go out and have a few drinks after set. It was like, no, let's just wait.
Yeah. We
Like
celebrate
no
all
one,
together.
everyone was so like on it with like the discipline side of it too. So it was like you've waited and waited, and you could finally just like tick that box. Yes, we've done it. Wow, we've just wrapped our first film, and actually like, well, we've wrapped the like principal photography stage of it, and like I said before, there was no hiccups.
Mm. It was really the dedication that everybody brought to it, to the project.
Yeah, yeah. And like the fact that, again, no, like I didn't, as a DIT on that, I didn't delete any clips by mistake. I'd never used like Shotput Pro or building this DIT cart that was so alien to us at the time.
Mm.
And the fact that like, and it's same with Sahil and everyone though, like we got a Ari Alexa. Like who
gets an Ari Alexa?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's
what I mean.
It's very rare.
That's
but
the amount of, when you think about it, the amount of pressure that was put on you to do that.
We were
is
expected to use the
crazy.
Ari Alexas as well, and luckily Sahil knew how to use it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Anytime that like I had to come near the Alexa, I was always kind of nervous because I was like, I knew what what stuff was needed on it, but I was always worried like if I break something.
He's here. He's
You
here.
know what's happened there? I've had to download the app on my phone and just go off my phone because my Wi-Fi is just gone. But I'm here. That's the main thing.
He's back.
That's it. Right. No, I was just saying that it was always a case that you felt like there was pressure to do stuff, but you always had the confidence. Like everyone always had the confidence to know what it is that they're needed to do, and then you just do it. You never felt scared or intimidated by anything.
Mm.
Yeah, the alley was quite something. I mean, every time I think Sahil and Jadyn, I think, were setting it up, I was sort of stood the furthest away from the camera.
And then we made you do that red Raptor review where we stuck a £30,000 camera in your eye.
Oh yeah.
Not my proudest moment, I'll say that.
You can see Matt like squinting to read off this script that was just pieces of paper
Oh yeah,
printed
we had
out. Like,
we had it on the laptop.
oh, we had it on a laptop.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like,
We had the camera and then we had the
8K
laptop
100.
underneath.
That was
That was
fun.
fun. That was fun.
That was fun.
We're quite something.
Sweet.
We'll get
back to pick a card.
Get back to pick a card. I mean, it would be a podcast if it was full of tangents. That's what the show's all about, really. But that's fine.
Well, I mean, okay, if you're fine with that, then can I ask a question to Oli
Go for it,
regarding Ellis? So I remember when Ellis first came down, Matthew was there with me to greet him, and I just remember kind of being nervous because, like, in our heads, it was like, here is an official actor. Like, he's there, he's working for our stuff, and it's like we're just a couple of students. So for you, did you ever have that same feeling? Did you ever feel like, man, this is big,
Yeah, well, from my position, I didn't know who this guy was.
Okay.
All you gave me was a name, and then I met him, and then he was listing off some of the stuff he's done and how busy he is, and I'm just like, flipping heck. I felt quite a lot of pressure, like, because, like I said earlier, like, he's literally living my dream. So I was just looking at him for inspiration, really. But I've never worked with someone who's like such a supporting actor within a scene. Like, he made me feel so safe when actually I was quite nervous because it's the first time I'd like performed in front of a camera and stuff like that. So that's a real testament to him because he's done all of these amazing things, but yet he was so human and just like encouraging. Like after every take, he'd be like, "I was like, how was that? Was that all right?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, keep going." And like, he'd give me some little tips, and we'd just talk about it. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, you guys couldn't have cast a better person. To be fair, smashed it with him.
To be fair, Ellis, I remember watching his audition tape, and I think he sent his audition tape. His audition tape was one of the last ones that came through. I think we were thinking about using somebody else, but then we watched Ellis, and then we all went for Ellis. Yeah, we knew straight away.
The same for your character though, Ollie. I remember like Matt, when you're a member, like the early days when you set up, or was it you that set up that spotlight thing and the Mandy profiles?
I think Laura may have helped me with
I
that.
think, yeah,
Laura did it.
that.
Yeah. And I remember like just seeing these first few submissions come through, and people, I can't remember what the dialogue was, but I remember watching the first batch of people's submissions, and we're like, yeah,
I remember
could
just
work.
not feeling very satisfied with it.
And you were like, yeah, you could. It kind of worked, but you just knew.
Yeah.
Like when we watched yours, and you just knew. Like we're like, yeah, all right, we don't need to bother watching anyone else because we're all kind of settled.
And we had quite surprisingly,
we had quite a few,
quite a lot of submissions.
I bet. I mean,
Yeah,
the job, like what Laura did with the job, looks so appealing.
I didn't even get to see what she put.
No, I don't even know what she put.
Yeah, it just sounded really interesting. I was like, wow, I haven't really come across anything like this. And like from my point of view, I'm Mandy. You're just looking at this list of jobs, and then you look at it, you think, okay, maybe that'll work. I applied for your guys, did the audition, and I was like, I'm probably not going to hear anything. And then you got back to me, and I was buzzing. It was great, and then it's led to this, and now I've met you guys, and I appreciate this, Matt, as well. Like keeping everyone in touch. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so nice to see you all after 2 years and hear that everyone's still pursuing their goal of like getting in the industry and like just hustling and keep practicing. So it's been really, really nice to catch up with everyone. But
That has been really nice. I think it's been a long time coming. I think since I started the show, I kind of wanted to do this. It's only taken me 20 episodes, but I mean, there's always room for more reunions and stuff. I mean,
other films we make, more reunions for the other films.
I think the next link up needs to be for a new project.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be.
We can pick a card as much as we can, but it's going to have to come to an end one day.
Look how much we've accomplished in 2 years, all of us. Let's just get back into it.
Just get back into it and do it.
Get even more awards.
We've got the kit.
Yeah.
So we've got the team, like Sahil's got his FX6. We've got, me and Jadyn have got FX3s that we can use. We've got everything we need.
Wait, Sam, you got an FX3 as well?
Yeah, I've had an FX3 for like...
He was the guy that put me onto the FX3, so...
Yeah, but you got it before me.
Well, yeah, I got it before you.
I
you
know
got it before me.
Jadyn bought it, but I didn't know, Sam, you bought one as well.
Yeah, because I remember you brought yours to graduation. And obviously, like, I'd started work in-house, but I was never like, right, I am where I want to be. Like, this was just a stepping stone, always was going to be. And I was like, I was working with people whilst I was at uni, and it was great because you got like Canon C70s at your disposal whenever you needed it for free. And then the dilemma was, right, I've left uni now, what am I going to do? So obviously, like Jadyn, you got your FX3, I was on to, like, I knew that's what I wanted for ages. And I remember you brought yours to graduation, and then literally I think that weekend I was like, right, I need to buy it. Well, I've still got student discount. Because I think I saved probably like 400 quid. So yeah,
Was it?
I was like, what? I was like, whilst I've got student discount, I need to get it. And then Sahil went and bought his FX6, and yeah, between us all, we've got a pretty decent arsenal
Yeah,
of
We've
kit.
got a
but
good
it's
kit
like,
then.
That's what I mean. There's no A,
Hey,
B, and C,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. Yeah,
and the
yeah,
good
yeah.
thing is, I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay, okay. You tell us.
I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway, let's get back
But
to
yeah,
it.
there's no
Yeah.
excuse. There's no excuse.
Yeah, we'll go off the record with that. Okay. So I think I'll ask Ollie this question, obviously, because I know you may need to leave us shortly.
Yeah, I've got to go soon, yeah.
But yeah, I'll ask this question for you because obviously a big part, obviously, of the film is legacy. Who would you say at the end of the day is that certain someone, almost thinking maybe the equivalent of Mr. Franklin, essentially? Who is that person who made you want to follow in their footsteps as an actor?
Oh,
Well,
what
it's
a
probably
question.
going to be quite soppy, I guess. But my dad, to be fair, like growing up, my dad was in theatre. He's always done it, and then my oldest brother, he went into theatre and he did Bugsy Malone, and my dad was the stage manager for it. So he basically made it all happen. It was like a youth production. They did really well, and there's loads of news clippings of my dad dressed up and doing all these different shows. And my mum and dad never said, I don't think you should do it. It's not a proper career. Do you know what I mean? They were like, if this is what you love to do it. But if you're going to do it, make sure you do it. Proper go for it. And they've just been non-stop encouragement. So yeah, my dad. But if there was an actor that I'd like to follow in the steps of, I guess, would be along Timothy Chalamet. Obviously, he's smashing it right now. That Bob Dylan thing that's about to come out looks like it's so good. And yeah, but yeah, my dad. Yeah, and I actually, sorry, I segued around to this, but yeah, so Bugsy Malone was quite a big thing, and they announced that they were doing Bugsy Malone at my local theatre, and I was like, Dad, I've got to do it. And he was buzzing, and then I ended up landing Bugsy and Bugsy Malone. So that was brilliant. So having him and my brother to come down and watch, and my brother played that part years and years before. Yeah, that was the first moment for me where I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do properly. So yeah.
Great answer.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
cool.
That's nice.
Shall I open that question to all of you? Who is your Mr. Franklin?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a good
Are
question.
we
good question.
are we talking about just in terms of film industry or
Yeah,
just
it's sort of who's inspired you. It's just a very posh way of saying who's inspired you.
There's a lot of people.
inspired?
There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot.
I've got a lot as well.
I don't know. I think from like a DOP kind of, I don't know, DOP kind of inspiration. I remember one that people in this call will agree on is just Danny Gavers and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a kind of, I feel like it's a cliche one for this group, but he's not massive. He's not like a Hollywood DOP kind of thing, but I think because he's we watched him when we were doing all the pick a card stuff, and I think we met the guy back in March when we went to see his feature film, and I think that was, yeah, it was kind of you can start by just basically just documenting your life in kind of an artistic way, and people will watch that. If you do it in a certain way, then and it people cotton onto it, you can do a lot from that. And this guy's just making spec commercials and stuff. I mean, he obviously does a lot of paid work, but he started by just doing spec commercials, and I think he taught me a lot in the beginning as well with that spec work. And it's if you go and make a spec commercial for Nike, in the beginning you're not necessarily going to work for Nike, but that will get you work. And it's if you just do that and you have that creative freedom and you just put your ideas down on paper and you create it, then what harm is that going to do? It's
So true.
that back to that message of just start with it, and then the rest will follow.
Just got to do it, haven't you?
You just got to do it.
Trying to think of a good answer now to follow that.
I think I've got one.
Go for
I
it.
think my inspiration for definitely directing was between Todd Phillips and Taika Waititi. And I know Taika Waititi recently made a really bad Thor film, but still
I'd
seeing
agree
the
on that.
way, but still, I think Thor Ragnarok is what really hooked me onto him. And just I think it was just the way he was. I remember watching a lot of the behind the scenes and just seeing the way he worked with the actors and allowed the actors to improvise as well. Was very inspirational. And another one actually is his name is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he is the writer of Hamilton. And he does a lot of things. He's done directing, he's done producing, he's a musician as well. And if bringing it back to myself is that I want to do all of those things. I want to be a director. I want to be a producer. I want to be a writer. I want to do music as well. I want to make music. So seeing Lin-Manuel Miranda being able to do all of those things inspires me to think to myself that, okay, if he can do it, then I can do it as well. But what's stopping me from doing it? So I'll definitely say top one is definitely Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Joe, have you got anything or?
Well, I'm just gonna use the film industry as a kind of a centralized thing. But for me, I would probably have to say the inspiration would be Tom Cruise, actually. His passion that he has for every single film that he does is really incredible. And it's like, that is a guy who loves making movies. He loves every single part of it. He's so passionate. He always put his body on the line for it. And I kind of want to have that that passion. I want to have like that love for making movies. So I probably say Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah. The new Mission Impossible film does look excellent.
Yes, it does look really cool.
I suppose, well, the sort of inspiration behind Pick a Card was sort of, at the time, was looking at the works of Edgar Wright. Particularly with a film that I didn't shut up to these guys about. Last Night in Soho.
What you're gonna say.
Last Night in Soho.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, still to this
It's
day, I haven't
good.
seen it either. I remember you continuously going on about it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, because I went to an early screening of that. I think it was it second year when we were doing Michael's screenwriting module. God, that's 3 years.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Wow,
You went to it, and then there was a personal tutor session. It was literally just me and you.
Yeah.
In this personal tutor session, and you didn't stop talking about this in film for we had the personal tutor thing, and then we had that 3-hour screenwriting session afterwards, and you could not stop Matt talking about this film.
Yeah, because I saw it. Well, this is early for me now, like 9 a.m. Which first because it was like half term. I think it was at the View, and then I came out and I was just buzzing, literally. Like I couldn't believe what I just watched. Like some of the camera work in that was just. I mean, I think it was all the guys some of the dance sequences and the trailers, which are done in like one shot, and it's
amazing.
You know,
the fact that they're done in one take is incredible.
The funny thing is that the only inspiration that came from what's it called again? What was it?
Last Night in Soho.
Yeah. That dance sequence was that one shot, and then they're doing that dancing and with Matt Smith, and then the other two actors, I forgot the names, the girls. And then there's the girls are switching between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the way they did that as a one shot inspired the dance sequence in Big Card. And then that's where the idea of doing a one shot came from.
And I think there's a lot to be said for one shot takes.
Yeah.
Because I was an essay on 1917, and that was sort of like the first sort of introduction to the film world, which was a mad introduction. But obviously every scene in that was one take, and I feel like with acting and stuff, when you're doing screen, a lot can be lost because you're doing it over and over and over again. And it's almost taking it back to like the theatre where you've got one take, you've got to nail everything, the adrenaline's going, and like there's a lot on the line. And I think some really good work comes from that. And referencing the opening scene to pick a card where I'm doing that magic trick, like I think it would have been very difficult to try and do that with several shots, and just keeping it with the one simple one like really paid off.
There was that other one take that never actually made it as well.
Yeah, it went to the deleted
the one that
scenes.
we spent hours on.
Yeah.
Took us,
Yeah,
what,
why
15...
didn't that make it?
I think the main
Funny
reason
story.
behind it was because it didn't
Just
contribute
didn't
to the
fit.
story.
Yeah, well there
was really no purpose for it. So
think
it was just
We'd have
glide
kept
it
it in.
over to the delete scenes.
Yeah, we'd have kept it in, but I remember like, you know, when we first edited it and it was like
18
close
minutes.
to 20 minutes. Yeah, it was like
Yeah, I
18
remember.
minutes. And we played it through and at like that point I was like, yeah, this is great. Like we can basically submit it now. And like, this is what we were talking about last week, Matt. And I remember how at that stage, I thought it was all right. And when I look back now and how rough that version was compared to like the final draft the final version that we submitted, like they're basically two completely different films. And like I remember there was like one, Michael was like, whatever doesn't, I can't remember what he said, but it's basically like if it doesn't feel right, if it's not contributing anything, then get rid of it to begin with. And he did this, like he had this one little like bit of advice for us, and he was like, turn the screen off and listen to the whole film.
Just listen to
And he
the
was
tracks. Just to
he was like,
audio.
just listen to the tracks. And he was like, you will know from doing that exactly what needs to go and what can stay. And I think that's probably at the point where we got rid of it and we were just like, well, we knew we needed to cut it down. It had to be like no longer than 13 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So we knew that like
it was up to 15 minutes that we had.
Or was it like up to 15 minutes with
yeah.
like credits and titles and all that stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, we knew that we'd got to cut like probably about 5 minutes out of it. And at that point I was like, well, how are we going to do that?
I remember we sat in the editing room and we just listened to the whole 20 minutes. No visuals, no nothing, just the 20 minutes. And we cut down, we took out quite a lot of dialogues as well.
There was a lot that came out.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of dialogues that we removed. And you can't tell.
There was the pacing too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the pacing, like I remember those like scenes in that, or what was the therapy room and stuff. There was a lot of it where it was a lot slower when you guys were like acting it out. And it was a lot like, it was really like drawn out because that's how it felt in the moment. It was kind of like these really slow, like thoughtful bits of dialogue. And we had to like, I don't remember how much we cut out, but I remember there was so much where we had to like, there was a lot of like playing with cutting back and forth between different shots because the whole pacing had to change, because otherwise you would have had like a 25-minute film.
Yeah, I remember there was a big chunk of dialogue we deleted.
Yeah.
And there was I remember it was during one of the therapy scenes.
Yeah. I remember there was one where like Ellis, there was like Ollie said something and there was that pen click. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was like really drawn out, and like we just left it to like we'd left it to the length it was in the moment. And I remember we were like, oh yeah, this is well good.
Yeah, I remember we all said we really like that pen click.
We really like he'd held this pen up and he just waited. And it was like really natural and nice. But then Michael was like, you don't need that.
Yeah,
and we got rid of it, and it like
to the story.
It doesn't, like, why did we need this like 5-second pause where nothing happened? We were all like super impressed by it, but then it was like pointless.
That's a good technique that he told you, actually.
Yeah, but I think that's where we discovered it though, is that like we got this like pen click in this therapy scene where everything kind of literally like clicked, like the whole story just came together, and you'd watch it, and when you were seeing it, it didn't matter because you were kind of still seeing what was going on. But then when you listened to it, and it was like you've just got this blank space for like 5-10 seconds, you knew straight away, oh, we can pause that and we'll just cut it out and get rid of it. And then you play it again and it flows. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Is listen to it, don't watch it.
Yeah, because I do a similar thing with the acting as well. Like, if I want to watch someone's performance and like what they're doing, like physically, just mute it.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get distracted from all the elements put together. If you take one
Exactly.
away, it's like losing one of your senses, isn't it? All the others heightened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
Really clever.
I think we'll get Ollie out of here on this last question for him, then we'll finish out the podcast with everyone else. So I know, obviously, you mentioned you've watched Pick a Card recently. Sort of thinking about the character of Apollo, let's think about this. So obviously you read him on the page 2 years ago, and obviously now sort of looking at him again through watching 2 years later, you see it through a different lens. Do you still view the character the same? Did you learn anything new about Apollo, maybe?
I mean, watching it through today, I think the main thing was just watching myself, and it's so hard to not be super critical when you're sat there watching yourself on the screen for 15 minutes. Like, when I first watched it on the final edit, like, I just found it quite a bizarre experience. But yeah, I think the character of Apollo is really good because he can go in any direction, and like, obviously he's got this sort of mental thing that's happening, and yeah, there's so many twists and turns you can take with him, but there's a few things I've probably tried differently. But I think that's just because it's been 2 years and I've learned so much and I've grown as an actor, and I know how to be a bit more natural on camera and stuff, and like there's different subtleties. But yeah, I'd kill to just work with you guys again. So I'm not being funny, like, we need to get it done.
We actually do. There's
100% we do.
Literally, we just block out, like, I don't know, a long weekend. I reckon, like, we could easily get something done.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like, it doesn't even have to be, like, me and Sahil were talking, and we were on about just doing, like, spec work. And, like, we don't even have to shoot, like, a 15-minute short film.
No.
You know, we can just we can get a group of us together and just create, like, a couple-minute-long ad for a brand. And that's, again, it kicks off stuff.
That's it. It's just getting together and making stuff, isn't it? You just got to do it.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's like, sounds again like super cheesy, but like I think when you, like, I've learned from you go into the corporate world and everything's like, it's like we were talking about before, everything's like you're hitting certain quotas when you're doing like client work, and it's only when you get onto like TV season stuff where they get really creative again. And it's like you have to keep, I think, to prepare yourself like for the future, and like you have to create those passion projects, and it's super important not to stop doing that. Like, sounds super cheesy, but like I think the best when the people that are successful with it, you throw yourself into this world where you have the creative direction, you come up with the story, and you just make something that you want to make.
Best way to learn as well.
Best way to learn is just throw yourself into it, and you know, like on set you take on a certain role, but when you're in like doing spec work, you do every role. So yeah, no excuse.
Well, I'm feeling very motivated. I'm not going to lie.
Very motivated.
I'm getting geared up at 9:15.
No, I feel that.
But yeah, I'm mindful of time, Ollie, mate. So I just want to say, I think on behalf of everyone, once again, just thank you for everything, really, because it's just been, looking back on it 2 years, it's been a hell of a journey, I think, to say the least. A lot to reflect on.
Yeah, but I honestly, thank you to you guys. I owe you a huge amount. Like, you really made me look good. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way, the quality, everything about that really, like, I was just one small piece of that puzzle, and you just made it all so seamless. So yeah, huge thank you. And I'd like to do this again. Like, I've got some ideas for short films and stuff that I could do with your creative brains to take away with it and stuff. So let's do some link ups and stuff. Let's just brainstorm. Let's just sit and talk creative
let's just
stuff.
Get on a call one day and just figure it out.
Yeah, let's do it, because I miss
those flights, Jadyn.
I listen.
Yeah,
I'll be first one to get on here.
Jadyn, get on the plane right now and get it.
Sure, no problem. I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
I've got to blow
Right, see you in a couple of hours.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys, and Matt, thank you again for inviting me on.
No worries at all, mate.
But yeah, we'll this ain't going to be the last time, 100%. And I really think like we've all got good platforms now to have fun and just have a play and see what we come up with. So,
And apart from film, when are we all getting back together? Just to go on
let's go for some drinks. Should we go spoons? Should we go to the cinema and then go spoons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt, you arrange it.
I haven't been part of that tradition yet.
Now, apart from film,
we
we should
definitely
all
should.
definitely get back together.
Yeah. All jokes aside, we actually should.
100%.
All in the same
Right,
room.
guys. Well, I've got to shoot.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks again. And take care, and I'll speak to you soon.
Nice one, mate.
Catch
Take
you
care,
later.
mate.
Good to
See
see
you in
you.
a bit, mate.
Nice one.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
Take
See
care,
you
mate.
later.
Bingo. And actually, no,
There
it's
you
the
go.
four of us.
Back to
Lad,
the
all
four
of
of
us,
us.
man.
Amazing
What a
to
legend.
just reflect on everything there, really. It's, what a legend indeed. Good chat.
Really,
Yeah.
really brought Apollo out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could chat for hours really
Incredible.
about like how good Oli is. I think not just as an actor, but as his work ethic was just the professionalism. Like was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think now
No, he was.
I will sort of go through my individual questions for you guys, just to sort of.
Uh-oh.
I'm now
Yep.
going to pick on people.
Danger time.
We can have a bit of a laugh here now because you all know what these jokes mean. So let's go to Shyam first here because obviously,
Of course it's me.
yeah.
Alright, let's see it.
We have to mention. I think I asked this last time we did this actually. You've directed before, and we were working in COVID. It wasn't the best. So we
And away
made
you go.
God.
we made such smash hits as We've Been Broken Into and
Wow.
The Hire. Just wow!
Horrendous.
I mean, just to look back on and just say that's a masterpiece of filmmaking.
Yeah, you've really nailed it.
I have to say,
It is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the biggest load of bollocks you'll hear on the podcast this year.
The high, well, I've forgotten the names of it as well.
So, sort of
The
any
Hire.
sort of directing experience you learnt from doing those productions, or if anything, skills you wanted to avoid that you wanted to bring to Pick a Card.
The only thing that I ever learned from those was the technique of directing, and there's five steps into creating a scene, and it goes like this. It goes, if I remember it, I should remember it.
Live interrogation.
Yeah. Pressure's on.
BLRTF. Okay, so it starts with blocking. You block out the scenes with the actors. You get the actors. You go into set and you block it out. Have your actors standing where they want, where you want them to, and you go over the lines. You do a very rough block, and then after blocking comes lighting. You light the scenes after you know where the actors are. You then block. You then light the scenes according to what your scene layout is, and after lighting, BLR is rehearsal. So you rehearse it with the lighting and blocking. And then after rehearsal comes T, which is tweaking. So if there's any tweaking that is needed from rehearsal, you tweak it. And after tweaking, it's the last step, you film it. And that is what I learned.
Nice bit of learning at 9:20 at night.
Nice bit of learning. I've learned something there.
That's nice.
The way I remember it is I made it into an abbreviation. It's BLRTF. I remember because I really wanted to learn it. I just kept saying to
How would you
myself,
pronounce that?
Blurtif. Yeah. Blurtif.
Blurtif.
Yeah.
Well, blocking, lighting,
Rehearsal.
rehearsal,
All right.
tweaking, filming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
It works.
It does work.
And I did.
You've got to perfect it.
Yeah.
And you did.
And I did really apply all of that to Pick a Card.
I think it's safe to say the leap between The Hire and Pick a Card was just extraordinary. I know that might seem quite arrogant saying that, but I mean, it's like you wouldn't know the same people who made The Hire made Pick a Card. It's just like that was the high. It was the highlight of the 3 years of uni.
Here's the thing, right? I I don't want to be too harsh on ourselves because for us, we were kind of told like, okay, here's your set, here's your script, here's a couple of actors, make a scene, and that was
Yeah,
it. We didn't get any
in
time to
4 hours.
We didn't get any time to,
Talk to the actors
creatively
as
go
well.
around with it. Yeah, you didn't get to all the actors.
Yeah.
So with Pick a Card, we made sure we did all of those things. We
Yeah.
did more research into different places we can go and make a scene. We looked for different ideas. We made more bonds with the actors. So I think it was a learning experience for everyone just from what we did, I guess, wrong or weren't able to do well.
And it was good to be able to like, I think it was good to be able to do stuff like The Hire, where it was like you were really thrown in this environment that you'd really actually never be put into in an actual film set, or when it came to doing that like final year production, because like I think we had about what 4 hours to
Yeah.
what,
Yeah,
from
it was
meeting
a
the
lot
people.
of time limit. We were given
You had
like
like
a
4 hours,
yeah.
to basically light it, shoot it, all this like I think everyone was so new to it. Like I was doing sound recording then. I don't know why. And it was like I had like 2 hours practice with the Sennheiser wireless mics and stuff in a session with Steven, and then next thing, bam, you're like straight on set. Matt, weren't you
Yeah.
like focus pulling or something?
Apparently.
Oh yeah, you was. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were on camera. Yeah.
And that was the
Yeah,
last
you're
time
one
I
of
was
the
behind the
cameras.
camera, and then I'm all last time behind the camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what I mean. Like everyone was doing roles that they were like so
Yeah,
not used
stuff
to.
we
Like
didn't really
Yeah.
want to do.
I
Yeah.
think I'd literally just pulled out of a hat that I was gonna be like
Yeah, we did.
doing sound for it or something. Like, because was KOD like DOP
Yeah.
for The Hire,
Yeah. I think so.
and Matt was focus
Yeah.
pulling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like when you think about it, like you didn't know it then, but all those roles were just completely not that we weren't good at them, but like they never ended up being the roles that we did because, and I think that, but like people did a pretty good job to say that like that wasn't anything that was ever planned. Like Matt, I don't know, but like I think I know you well enough to know that you were never going to be a focus puller.
Well, I think if anything, the course has made me realise what I'm not good at. Which and there's no point
Yeah, but
trying.
not
Yeah.
that you're not good at it. Not that you're not good at it, but like this fact that
You found
what
what
you
you
do.
enjoy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And like you've always done the screenwriting kind of stuff, and then the next thing is like you're pulling focus on a camera, and same for me. Like I was doing like sound recording. Like, I never thought I'd do sound, but again, it taught me that like it's a skill to have, but you're not gonna do it. But again, like it's a skill that you picked up.
I
I
think
think I was the only one that really did what I wanted to do.
Well, from
Did you
what
direct?
I'm looking at
Directing.
the credits of it, you were the director, and so you was still Gaffer. So
Which one's this?
still same. This is Sam Hire. I'm just looking at the
Oh.
credits of it.
Do you have the film?
Yeah,
Oh, I gotta chill.
I
wanna
still
watch
have
it
all
back.
of our stuff.
Please don't play it now.
Yeah, I've got all the stuff. I've got all the
the stuff in
still on my
Dropbox
iCloud.
in a hidden folder
Yeah.
that is never going to be accessed. I mean, some of the stuff at BCU, I'll put it this way, is never going to be seen by anyone's eyes ever again.
Apart from Picard.
Yes, literally
Apart
that.
from Bigger Card. Especially, what was It's the one that me and you had to act in, Matt. Can you remember?
Yeah, who
Don't
stole
Steal
my
bike.
bicycle?
Yeah, who
man.
stole my
Oh, yeah.
bicycle? Yeah, that was,
remember-
and there
I
was
remember.
the We've Been Broken Into one. That wasn't even that bad. Like Jadyn, you were good.
I mean, that was like I don't want to say first time I did the acting. So I mean, I guess
That was that was when we did pick roles out of a hat.
Mm.
Oh,
And I
crap.
somehow got directed.
Wow, man.
Yeah, you did all right. I remember I was like first AC on that We've Been Broken Into one, and I had to build the camera up and then pull focus. I had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely none.
It's questionable.
Clueless.
Questionable.
Absolutely clueless.
Yeah, there's a lot to question on the experience, I think, ultimately, but heck, we may pick a
come
card
a
and we've
long way.
won some awards, so
You've come a long way.
I'll have to get on to Jadyn. I'll ask you this question because obviously work with Sahil again, obviously it's the gaffer. What was the hardest setup for the whole shooter pick a card, do you reckon?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna say it's the hardest, but it was definitely the one that took a lot of like thinking and messing around with. when we were able to actually get a backdrop for the different therapy scenes, having to light it in a way that made it look realistic and stuff, it was like you had to really try to work with it. There was a time I remember Sahil wanted me to hold a flag while he was like on the light itself. I was just
Oh
like
wow.
going up right against the window. I was just like really still not to make any shadow so it doesn't go on the camera. And I was like, that was something, I'll be honest.
But let's come back to the backdrop you just talked about.
Yeah.
Shout out to Roscoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
that we initially didn't when we first hired out the studio, we didn't have any plans to have a backdrop. That all fell into place perfectly. It was one day where Dan from Roscoe came in. He was doing a talk about the backdrop, and we just happened to walk in to the studio, and we just asked him, "Is it okay if we can borrow the backdrop?" And he said yes. And thank you to Dan, because if
He was doing that.
yeah, he was doing a talk about
He was
the
doing the thing for the second years, and we were editing.
yeah
Oh no, wait, were we editing?
yeah no we were editing in the suite.
Yeah, we were, because we'd already started filming Pick
Yeah,
a Card
so
at
we
that
were
point.
editing the TV show.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
and I don't know who told us, but somebody told us that somebody from Moscow's here. And so we just popped in and we asked from Dan, and he said, yeah, you can use it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Because, I mean, it made such a difference. Imagine if we'd have shot that and it was just black, like
Yeah.
just emptiness outside.
Just the background alone really gave it. It looks like it doesn't even look like it's a studio. It looks like
People
we filmed
did say,
in London.
like, that's what I mean. People did say, like, oh, wait, you didn't actually shoot this in London.
Mm. I mean,
And we
even
were
some of
like,
the
nah.
technicians were like, "Is that the studio?" We're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Even they were shocked.
That's just props to those set designers again.
I think it's
Like,
also two things to mention with that. I think obviously the backdrop's great, but it's also the sound design that went with it, because it was kind of the ambience of it was just very realistic, and it.
I remember her showing us that she like went outside at night in the middle of the road and just like
Yeah.
filmed cars driving by. I was like,
Yeah.
Laura, you're doing a lot. You know?
I remember she
Really
sent us a
impressive.
picture, and she was just outside. She was like, "Yeah, I'm just getting ambience."
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
10
wow.
o'clock at night, cars going past stuff.
But yeah, and it
Pretty
proves
good.
that we have better green screen stuff than Marvel do. So that's if someone's questioning it, I'm not offended to make
Very
that
true.
comparison at all, because yeah, I could do a whole episode on Marvel, but we won't go there for now. Should we get on to the edit? The Da Vinci Suite, where I went stir crazy.
Yeah. So
I think we
Well
all
done.
did a little
Matthew,
bit.
I don't know what it was with that room. Matthew just became a different person.
No, it's
You went sent you whacked, didn't
Think
it?
of it.
Yeah.
Think of it like the film Split, for example, with M. Night Shyamalan, who
Yeah.
directed the film.
Maybe not a crazy plot twist at the end, but I mean, no, it was the first time I'd kind of been in a room with no windows, and I just lost any sense of orientation. I've had to be in an editing room since with no window, and it is the worst. Trying to keep
Yeah.
awake, trying to keep sane. I'll put it that way. But that first time, I just lost it big time, because I think I was mentally exhausted as well, as we
It
all
was
were.
it
let's
was
be
that
honest.
time when it was like, I always just remember it was like I'd get up, see about half an hour of sunlight in the morning, whilst like you'd get up, because it was this time of year, you get up, it was dark outside. I'd travel to uni between 8:30 and 9, see like 45 minutes of sunlight.
Yeah, we were getting
Maybe
at
see
9
another,
o'clock.
get in at 9 o'clock, you'd sit in that room from like 9 till 1. Again, have another half an hour of sun when you went out for your lunch, and then you'd sit back in the Da Vinci Suite from 1:30 till about 6 o'clock. And that was, I remember genuinely, like, that was just life for like
It was
6-7 weeks straight.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it made me so ill. I remember stopping, and I was so ill.
I
And
remember whilst we were editing, I could see you were getting very tired. And I remember there were times where we switched and I did a bit of editing as well.
Yeah, even you stepped in. There's cuts in that film that obviously you made.
Yeah, but it's not very good.
Well,
Nah, it was good.
No,
No.
like you stepped in, and then
Seamless,
it was also like the little things. Like I remember making that title sequence and everything, and it was kind of like even when the film was finished, it wasn't finished because I did the grading as well.
Yeah, you have to do
So
the
it was
color grading.
like we did the color grading as well, and I remember sitting with you and Sahil, and we were like actually doing the grade for each scene, and it was like that was like really early days of color grading, and I look at like I remember screenshotting like the node tree to put in the PowerPoint thing for the Viva, and it looked awful. Like it was just this mess, and like I mean it looked all right, but I remember just sitting on that, even the grade for like 3 weeks, and just every day, like pretty much every hour of every day, just literally like watching YouTube tutorials to learn this process because I knew that we couldn't just throw a lot on top of it.
Yeah, I remember you had some issues with the skin tones when we were doing the TV set. Yeah, I remember that. Everything was looking really orange and stuff.
It looked awful. It looked awful. And I remember like, well, I mean like at the time I was like, yeah, it looks terrible. And I mean like now it'd be so much that the grade now would look so much different, I think, to what it did. Like because I've learned so much since that point.
Yeah, and on top of that, you had to do 2 different grades.
Yeah, we did.
You had to do one for the laptop and then one for cinemas.
There was like DCI, like P3 DCI one, and then Rec 709 one.
I remember we were even just toying with the idea of just sticking the Rec 709 on it and just leave as is.
Yeah. No, I remember at the time, like, we were like, oh, like, Rec 709 is fine. But, and then I look back and I'm like, Rec 709 was not fine.
Not look good.
No.
Like, those walls in that therapy scene were,
it looks very dark.
The walls in that therapy scene were grey. And then, I don't know what I did at the time, but
you made it
somehow
blue.
Selected them, added like this like greenish bluish tint. At that point I was like, let's just select this because I can and I will. And it was like it didn't need it, but it was even like I'd select things like the color of the lamp, and yeah, I was just in my awe doing Da Vinci at that point. And yeah, but I mean we've all come a very long way. I mean I love doing it. I wouldn't change anything about it. So
I remember Maddie as well was there.
Yeah, Maddie, shout out to Maddie, she brought with a lot.
I remember she was doing her work and then we're just there laughing and just making
She'd
so
come
much
and like
noise.
Laughing a lot.
Yeah,
I felt a bit bad.
No, I remember she used to sit outside in the tables and stuff for hours, and we'd be in that room for like hours. Yeah, she got a credit in the end for support. So yeah,
Shout out to her as well.
Shout out to Madison for putting up with it because it literally was like every day.
Intense,
yeah.
So yeah, and everyone put up with us. So yeah.
And Matthew's, I don't think have we spoken about Matthew's little funny little stories that he went through in the editing suite?
I don't remember them.
I don't remember them.
I remember one of them. I remember one of them was we were editing. Everybody was there. We were all editing. Sam was editing, and I don't know what. I think it was lunchtime, and Matthew just really wanted to get out the door, and so I remember him standing by the door.
Oh yeah, I know
He
what
was
you're
standing by
gonna
the
say now.
door, just holding onto the hand.
Yeah, I remember. Couldn't open it.
Yeah.
And you, oh God, yeah. Do you have to tell me if it was push or pull because I didn't know what it was.
I can't remember what was going through your mind, but all I remember was like in reality you were about I don't know like 10 centimeters away from this door handle, but in your head it was like you were
No, he was actually
miles
holding
away.
onto the door handle, and he had already gone out for something, and he came back in, and then for some reason he was still standing by the door, just holding onto the door handle, and just wanted to get back out, but just couldn't, and just kept
It
pushing the
was-
door, but it was a pull.
You guys were like, Jadyn was falling asleep on the floor.
Did you have your
I
head?
remember that.
Did you have your
I
head on
was
the
like
speaker?
really tired though.
Yeah, I remember at
Mm.
one point you were just like
On the speaker.
with the
Yeah,
speaker
I
behind
was
you.
gone, man.
Thing is, those were long days.
Yeah, they were.
I feel like for me, it went quick because, like, I was sat in front of that laptop for the whole day. But from you guys actually just sitting there to review it, it must have been so long.
Mm.
Like, to think about it from a 9 till 6 day, that is a long time to just be in that room.
Mm.
So, yeah, credit to you guys because, I mean, I don't think, well, I mean, the film definitely won't be the same without everyone's input. Like, I couldn't have just edited that by myself, you know? I'd never edited anything like that
Yeah.
before.
I was literally
Like
going
a
to ask you
15
about that,
minute.
actually, yeah. I was literally going to say, because this was your first, like, big, well, because you only edited, like, commercial shorts, haven't you? Before that point?
Before that, I mean, like, yes, because I was doing like the more motion design stuff before that. So like I'd never really, well, yeah, I'd done that and then I'd moved into doing like spec things and like natural light little recap edits and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you'd never really edited anything. I'd never really edited anything before where it's like dialogue and there was a proper narrative and you were following an actual like storyboard and something where pacing's so important, like we spoke about earlier. So yeah, like it was I definitely couldn't have done it without everyone else's help. So the fact that you guys all stayed there and were like, no, we're not going to leave. We're just going to
Yeah.
get through it.
I mean,
was,
honestly,
yeah,
like
appreciate it.
I don't say we could talk bad about room, but honestly, I would do it all again.
I'd do it all again.
come back.
Same.
I'd do it all again.
It was
Like I
fun.
said earlier,
It was
I
all
think,
good fun.
especially like in that second half of that third year, I was really like, I mean, I was never like, didn't want to be there, but I was always kind of like counting it down in a way, like, oh, I'm just ready to, like, we'd done the film, we'd gone back to doing like, we were watching like PowerPoint slides for 3 hours on an afternoon. I was like, I'm so done with this, like, I'm ready to just get out there and I just want to like build my portfolio now. And I was kind of like wishing it away in a way. Like, I mean, I didn't take any of it for granted whilst I was there and I enjoyed it, but like now looking back at it, I always think like I would love to just go and do that again. Like it sounds really cheesy, but I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the sound design as well?
Yeah, we've
Mate,
got to
we
talk
have-
about
you've
the
got
sound
to,
design.
yeah.
It was insane.
Oh
It was
my
insane.
god, the sound design, top notch.
I remember listening to it for the first time. Remember when we were in the conservatoire and
Yeah.
and Laura played it.
Wow.
Hang on, I've
And
got to
then-
switch places because my laptop's gonna die. So I need to plug it in. It's happened to
We
us
got
all.
him.
Yeah.
It's happened to us all.
But yeah,
Yeah,
sound
go on.
design.
Talk
I
about the
remember
sound.
we were in the conservatoire and Laura was there doing her sound design in a very special, specific room. I remember we all listened to it and we were all really shell-shocked.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was really good.
Yeah, we couldn't believe by how good it was. And I remember there were even like some sound effects where it was one of the outtakes. She took one of the outtakes and reversed it and added like reverb to it and really, really suited it.
Yeah, I mean Laura smashed it because we didn't even know Laura before Pick a Card, so I didn't
Yeah.
know. Like, you knew
I
that she was gonna
didn't.
do a good job.
Yeah.
Like because she put a shift in when we were doing the when we were actually filming it, so you knew it was going to be good. But when it came to all that post production, I had no idea what it was going to sound like, and she took those voices in the head and she just got it like straight away.
Mm.
And it was like that that's what I mean. Like the first time we actually saw it and heard it, it was like 90% done. You didn't need to do anything else to it because she just nailed it like straight away.
Yeah, I remember the only thing that we had to do to it was just remove some sounds. Because I remember it was a bit overdone, but it was still it was very good. I remember her telling me, just pick out which ones you don't want. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, she
just
did
get
such
for that
a
one.
good job.
But yeah, she nailed it.
Yeah. First time listening to it, yeah, it was quite an experience, even when you sort of know the outcome of particular scenes.
I was just looking at Jadyn. I'm so confused. It was like
it was getting dark, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
I was like, it was like
try
broad
it.
daylight when we started this, and it's now pitch black.
Yeah.
Well, how long's it been?
Been
a while.
Been a while, but
Yeah.
I've got
I was
some,
about to, I
yeah,
was about to say something rude there, but
yeah. Don't make me cut already enough that I have to, so we'll keep that as it is. So I've got two more questions really to kind of take us out on.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, we also forgot to talk about the music.
Archie,
The
yeah.
music.
Archie nailed
Archie.
the music
Archie nailed the music.
as
Yeah,
well. I
he
remember
did a
sending,
really good job.
yeah, I remember sending him the references from Joker, and he really like nailed it.
Yeah, Arch loved doing it as well. I saw it. I saw him the other week, a couple of weeks ago, and I've not seen him in ages. But yeah, like he loved doing that. It was so different for him because like he does all like the music for like Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, so it's completely different to doing like not feature, but like student films, short films. So yeah, like I think for him, speaking on his behalf, it was like such a different experience. And because you could like, it really drove the actual like emotion in that film. Because I remember when we put it in for the first time, and I was like,
Yeah,
shit, this is really
I
good.
remember we got like goosebumps and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And he literally produced everything bar that. There was that one song, and it
Towards
was
the end.
it was in the end, and I remember blending it from Archie's into that. Or there was like, maybe it wasn't that. There was one where we like blended two songs together. You've got the Da Vinci Project, you'll have to have a look. There was one when it went from one of Archie's songs into like something else. It's in that therapy scene at the end when he's like, I'll still love you or whatever. And I
don't
remember
even
doing
remember.
it, but you'd never even tell because Archie's production quality was that good. That you'd never even tell that it was going from two songs.
If I was to
one song
watch
to
it
the other.
again, I wouldn't even. I can't tell
No.
you which one it was.
I might have to watch it again
Yeah.
after we finish up.
Yeah.
We'll have to record a live
sure.
watch along.
Yeah.
You know what? It would be really fun if we did a watch along, and then with Sal and Sarah as well, we can talk about the film.
Yeah.
That would be
Scene
a
by
lot of fun.
scene.
That'll be another
I think the only problem with that is that I can see us like pausing
Every
to talk
couple of
about
fuck-
every small
every-
thing. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna be there forever.
That would be a whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be about a 4-hour podcast.
Well, always up for the long ones, so I'm up for it. I think if we set some rules, not now because I can't get
Not on a work night.
No.
Not on a work
Unless we
night.
do one scene.
possibly, or maybe a setting, maybe.
Yeah, like if we just do these therapy ones.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, let's do it. Anyway, what was your last two questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we could really do a two-parter to this, really, because there's that much to talk on. But I think there's only so much you can really say in these kind of chats. But comedy question, right? So we've all familiar with Joker 2. Obviously, Todd Phillips, big inspiration. So the question is, should Pick a Card 2 be a musical?
I mean,
Okay.
here's my thing. What outside of like being more creative, what would be the purpose of making it a musical?
There is none. There is no purpose.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
sarcastic.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love musicals. Right? My dream is to make a musical one day. But Pick a Card becoming a musical is a no. It's a no go. No,
Doesn't need to be it, does
it
it?
doesn't need to be a musical.
Pick a Card becoming
No.
a horror film, I could possibly write.
Yeah,
Horror film.
Yes.
I think you could do that, you know.
you
How?
could do
You
it.
could.
Well, it
You
would
could.
probably be
I think-
Apollo losing his absolute mind, but I'd probably do
Yeah.
it a very different take on mental health.
I think
Where's
you
the
could do
jump
it
scares
like
gonna come from?
You don't need jump scares.
But it
You
is-
don't need jump scares in good horror. I could debate the strengths of horror all day.
Okay, here's the thing.
surely
I
you
hate
could
horrors.
do it. Yeah, you don't do
So
horrors. do you?
I
You could
I've never
play
watched
on the voices and everything, right? Like those flashbacks. Those flashbacks were like a few seconds, in Pick a Card 1. Like, imagine if you really delved into them and you had a whole 5 minute scene and it was him like living out
We go
this
into his
flashback, or
mind
we actually go into it. Imagine
and we
that.
can see the voices.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Instead of hearing it, you can see it.
Yeah, imagine like if you had a scene where he was just completely like surrounded by people that
Abyss
had
of
kind of like,
darkness.
yeah, imagine if it was like dark and there was just like but he was like surrounded by people, like trapped with this circle of people that were just saying all the voices to him, like, you're not good enough, this, that, and the
Yeah.
other, and
Think
you
of
actually
it.
brought it to life. Could be terrifying.
Yeah. Think of it like you know the deleted scene in Endgame where after Tony has snapped, he goes into this oh no, when Thanos actually snaps in Infinity War, he
Okay.
goes into this into like a different world and he's there alone. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But imagine it like that, but it's dark and you can see the voices. You can hear them like going past him. Like imagine like it's a car going past, but it's the voice that's going past.
Yeah. So no musical then. No, okay, that's
No
No
musical.
You know what? I watched Joker 2 yesterday. What the hell was going on? Yeah, it doesn't even feel like a Joker film.
It's I think we should, because I want to get you guys back on actually the podcast for the best of year special. I'd be up for a Joker 2 debate in that if you are, because
Alright.
I will heavily defend a lot of the film. I think it's good.
Really?
I think it is the best comic book film this year, but that's really not saying much when we've had Deadpool and Wolverine and we've had Venom: The Last Dance.
Okay, here's my question. What do you prefer, Joker 1 or 2?
Oh, definitely 1, but 2's got a
Okay,
lot
we
I
can
like.
agree on that.
Yeah, two's got a lot I like. The parts I don't like, actually, probably the parts that are not discussed enough, but yeah, we'll do that on the best of year special. Joker 2 debate incoming. That we'll have to kick-start with that. I'm ready to rewatch it, actually. Oh, do I really want to rewatch it? Here's the question. Do I really want to rewatch it when you think that there's other films I could rewatch? But in terms of like, we'll end on this now because it's getting very late and we've all got early starts tomorrow. Metaphorically,
Need to eat.
yeah. Have you not eaten yet?
I literally finished work, had a call, and then came on here.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Basically, yeah.
I
Itching to
need
get
to
out
have
of
my
it.
dinner.
So, metaphorically speaking, right? Because obviously, Pick a Card's about magic. Sort of stepping away from the film and looking back at it, what would you say is not literally here, what would you say is the best piece of magic that exists within Pick a Card?
The people that made it.
Literally that.
No, again, like what I said at the beginning, I think, I don't know, just the fact that like that we did it, because what I've learned since doing that is filmmaking's hard, and it really is hard, and the magic in the whole thing is the fact that we did that, and like it's credit to the whole team that the fact that external people who'd been on film sets before, like Oli, came in and were like, Jesus, this is so organized.
Yeah.
Credit goes to our organization as well.
Mm-hmm.
During pre-production. We're very, very organized.
There literally wasn't anything that was left untouched in the actual like making of it and the storyline. Like there was nothing that wasn't like answered, you know, in the writing too.
I don't want to say like we got lucky, like it's stuff like saying do you have any backdrop and stuff, but we were always like prepared for getting those opportunities,
Yeah.
Like we were looking for the same jazz club, and we were able to get it. Whether it was looking a little dicey that we might not get it, but we were always prepared for having those stuff. So I think it's a little bit of like us being good at what it is that we want to do, and the universe kind of allowing us to actually pick a card.
I think it goes back to that, like everyone says you basically like create your own look though.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if you want the successful people who you'll say, oh, they were lucky because they got this. It's like, but they didn't get it because they weren't just sat at home like watching Netflix and you know, like a message from WhatsApp from their favorite director or like DOP or whatever comes through and it's like, oh, by the way, I want you to work on this, or like these opportunities. You've got to. I think it's that preparation though, and when those opportunities come along and you're like prepared for them, that's where that like luck kind of comes from. So it's like we knew that like we wanted this location, and like I don't know, you persevere with it and you kind of get the opportunity to then use it. And it's like the reason why it turned out so well is because we were prepared. Like we were prepared for all eventualities, don't get me wrong. Like we got backups, but it'd have been fine if we'd shot it somewhere else. But the fact that we were prepared like to get it, and we knew what we had to do to get it, really made it worth it when we did get it, because it was like, right, we've worked so hard to get this location now, like it needs to really work, you know. And we'd rehearsed that scene in multiple times in places that weren't the jazz club. So when it came to shooting in the jazz club, it was like, bump, we know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, we even used, well, Jadyn even stepped in as Apollo at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
During the rehearsals, and yeah.
That's what I mean, like create your own looks.
Yeah, even with rehearsals as well, we did way more rehearsal days than we did actual shoot days.
And we'd edited those as well.
Yeah.
I remember editing like therapy scenes, and it was Matt and Laura discussing it. So it was kind of like you knew kind of what shots could go where based off of. I remember looking at them all the time, like, and it's the same thing, like create your own look in the sense that prepare for it that much in a testing phase that when it comes to actually doing it, you kind of know what's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, and there was specific scenes that the most difficult scenes that we had to shoot, we rehearsed out multiple of times, and we edited together until it was like how we wanted it to look in the film, and it looked perfect.
And I think that allowed us to find like potential issues with, not issues, but like things in the script that,
as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like things with the script that you were like, right, we're actually reading this out and acting it out. Sorry, not reading it out. You're acting it rather than reading it. How is this going to fit? And it's the same, you know, with like, you know, the shot with the cards when they found them. Like that was never intentional, was it? Like that was never, you know, when, oh no, he doesn't find them out. It's Oli when it's the close up and we pull focus and it's like the six of clubs.
Yes,
that was
and
amazing.
it's the meaning.
Yeah. So that actually, funnily enough, that was going to be a different type of shot. We were going to do an overhead shot, or bird's eye view shot. Bird's eye view shot. We're going to be looking down on the cards. And I remember we were going to use the C70s for it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I remember Sahil booked it, but he got a notification saying that he couldn't get it. So on the spot, me and Sahil straight away thought of different ways we could shoot it, and so we just went with the straight up right in front of him, and he would just hold up the cards and then switch it. And then the pull focus was never an option. We never thought about it until on set and on the day. I remember we were looking at the shot, and I just told the first AC, what's her name again?
Amanda.
There we go. I remember telling Amanda when Oli says a certain word just to pull focus, and she did it, and it looked.
She was good as well.
Yeah, she was good. She caught on that quick.
Amanda has never done focus pulling before, but when she came into this, it was like she's done it before.
Yeah.
She was very professional.
Yeah. But like the whole testing thing as well, I mean, that shot was improvised, but I think the fact that we had room to think about different ways that we were going to do that shot, because the rest of it was like tried and tested. So it was like you kind of didn't have to think, how are we going to build this whole scene out on the day, because we like nailed it in the testing phase. So it was like you kind of we kind of got through all of that, and then you had that like headspace to be like, how can we, right, we've got a bit of an issue, we can't do this shot, how are we gonna like work around that? And it wasn't like, there was never a moment of like fretting about it, because everyone knew what they were doing because we'd prepared for it.
Yeah, we always prepared for the worst.
Yeah, no, I think it's really true in the focus pulling in particular, because I remember the films I watched in cinemas. Every time I saw a focus pull, I never thought it was as good as ours. Selfishly.
Yeah, no, I remember when we actually shot that scene. I remember standing at the monitor and Matthew, you were standing behind me. And the second that focus pull went, all I heard from behind me was,
I remember
and I
it,
looked
actually,
back
yeah.
at Matthew, and he just has the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah. Well, I can never forget yours and Sahil's reaction to when Ollie did the dance in the dressing room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was
I
sick.
remember. Yeah, I remember. So the way the room was laid out is that when you watch the film, or when you watch that dance sequence, if you look at the background, you'll see two doors, and in one of those doors is where me, Amanda, and Emma, the script supervisor, were all sat in there. Very tight space, we're all squeezed in. And the minute we finished, that's the dance sequence. I ran out. I ran out of the door. I literally slammed the door open. And me and Sarah look at each other and we just start screaming at each other. We were like, that was perfect. And yeah, we were both
That was
just
fun.
like really, really happy with it.
It was a fun day, that as well, I think, especially with the
Yeah.
dressing room being smashed and we were hiding in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Ollie came.
That
It was
dance
amazing.
sequence as well, we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
That dance sequence was, again, when we talk about us being organized, that dance sequence was never, wasn't planned. It was kind of like
I don't remember you having any like choreography for it, right?
yeah,
No.
we didn't have any choreography for it. All I had was the music and just an idea of what I wanted. That's it. We didn't have any of the camera placements where we wanted the camera to go. All I knew was one shot. Music is gonna be that's life, and yeah, that's it. That's all I need. And so on the day, me, Ollie, Sahil, we all just, the three of us, improvised it and just came up with the choreography on the spot.
It's really mental to think about. I mean, I'll be honest, it's the kind of thing we could really talk for hours. I mean, you could probably spend a day discussing every day of the pick a card set, and there's something to take away from it. I think there's two more things I just want to add before we go. I occasionally, I don't know if any of you do this, I sometimes look at the set photos that we did. I just sometimes just, I don't know, it just spontaneously sometimes I just whack them on, and it makes you feel quite proud, really. There's a sense of pride, I think, in what we've achieved. I don't know if any of you feel the same about the pictures.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
actually look back at the BTS videos.
Yeah, there's some questionable
Yeah.
mug shots in though.
There is, yeah, there really is.
Yeah, so I like to go back and watch the BTS videos and just see how we made it.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating, I think, as well. And I think probably the last thing I'd say, I think this was really well sort of encapsulated by my parents when they came to sort of the showcase we had. And I'm going to say this, we got beat by a film that shouldn't have beaten us. So that's...
But to be fair, we weren't supposed to be part of that event.
Yeah.
But we somehow,
But still,
they still wanted to take us on.
But still, we lost,
Yeah.
and I hold my hand up if I get beat by the better film. But I didn't think that was the better film. So, but it was very well made. Let's be honest. There was quite a lot we saw there that was. I think it really showcased a lot of the different courses which we hadn't had met really on our time. But enough on that tangent, because that's a whole nother episode. I'd say I think my mum and dad put it really well. They say the first time they watched it, obviously, I think as parents, they're obviously watching it for you because you're involved. But I think the second time they said they stepped away entirely from my involvement and they just watched Pick a Card for what it is, and they say it just works perfectly. And that is where the magic lies, I think. As a film, I think if step all of our involvement away, if you look at it as a piece of drama, it works. And that's the sole factor, I think. I don't know if anyone would agree with that, but
I fully agree with
Fully
that.
agree.
but that I think brings us to a very nice conclusion on this Pick a Card reunion special, because if we're being honest, we could go for hours, but some of us have got actually very important stuff to watch. So we'll have to end it there. But
Yes.
I say shout out to Oli for earlier. Always great to see you, mate. Shyam, thank you very much. Jadyn, great to see you again as well. Thank you. Sam, thank you very much. Would you all be up for the top 10 special?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
When
down
is
for
it?
If probably next month, but I kind of want to do it how we did the last one, where you can kind of react to my picks, and I want to do that Joker 2 debate. We'll get Sam to be the judge of who. Because you
I
haven't
mean, I
seen.
haven't seen it.
Yeah,
so
you could be impartial then.
That's what I mean. I'll just have to sit
Oh.
quiet and mute my mic while and you guys can just go for it.
But I will say
For sure.
this is it's been a blast. I mean, it's been good to get back into the podcast, and I just love chatting with you guys. Really, it's just been a good.
It's been really good. I miss
Yeah,
you guys.
it's fun, man.
Yeah,
it. It's
missing.
been good fun.
We'll have to do one in the same room, maybe over a pint in Wetherspoons. Just get the microphones out. That someone just
Maybe,
know what you
maybe,
could, like-
maybe next time we can do the what
What'd you say?
Yeah.
I think you cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
You're good.
Oh,
He's
he's
gone.
gone.
Let's go.
No, but we could do this where we've got the cameras. Jadyn, if you joined virtually or if you're here in person, even better. We could you could light it nice. We've got the mics we've got the cameras we've got. So yeah, could make something really nice.
But yeah, I will say thank you very much all for listening and watching. If you've still stayed with us to the end, because we have gone on quite a lot to say the least. But when it's 2 years, you've got to reflect quite a lot and get used to seeing these guys. They'll be back in the top 10 special. A very exciting Joker 2 debate, which I now have to probably prepare extensive notes so I can beat Jadyn and Shyam. But
Wait, Jadyn, you don't like it either?
No, I didn't like it.
Thank God.
it's
I'm
an
not
odd
the
one
only
for me
one.
because I like it, but I'm not. I'll admit there's faults, but
Okay, I want to be fair to it. I don't outright hate it. It's just there's a lot of it that I was like, I really wish you went a different direction with this.
yeah. Oh well, we'll save
it for later.
We've got.
We'll save it. Yeah,
We'll save it for next episode. But I will say to everyone, thank you very much for listening, and probably the next episodes are going to be the top 10 specials. So stay tuned for those. There'll be a lot of the sort of the highlights of the year discussed. Some underrated gems that people may have missed as well. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see everyone in the next episode.